Hello and welcome. This is the Market Wrap. I am Agam Akil. Well, it's not turned out to be a very encouraging start to the trading week, especially given the kind of global cues that we've had and the kind of impact that we've had in Indian markets. In fact, the benchmark indices have come off by as much as 230 points as far as the Nifty is concerned, down by nearly 2%. And only 4 gainers, and of the 4 gainers, only 1 gainer advancing by as much as 1% on the Nifty 50. We have severe losses in some of your large cap names, which will include something like a State Bank, Bajaj Finance, IndusInd Bank, Hindalco. Well, a whole host of names out there which are weighing down on the indices. The picture is not very different for the broader markets. On the NSE 500, only 1 gainer for 9 losers. That's how skewed the advanced decline ratio is today. We do have, well, some unusual names popping up and advancing today for something like a Suzlon or Diwan Housing Finance, or for that matter, Dishman Carbogen. But if you leave that aside, we have a lot of weakness. As you can see, the momentum is clearly with those which are declining. So CARE Ratings down 10%, KRBL, Indiabulls Housing Finance, HPCL, NBCC, all declining in trade severely, and well, we don't really have too much going in for, except for the fact that, well, there's only hope for some amount of recovery today. But on that note, let me get in our markets editor Neeraj Shah for his thoughts on the markets. Neeraj, well, it's a tough trading day for those who are long in the markets. What have you?
But yeah, Agam, remember we were talking about this last week, that it was a surprise as to why the markets didn't react a lot more than what then the response should be in a scenario like this when there is geopolitical tension.
Oh, yes,
so maybe some bit of it came in the session today. Not to saying that we were predictive or anything, but just that we were surprised as to why is it that the markets are a lot more calmer than what they otherwise would have been. Volatility's jumped today. Volumes are looking okay on the side. I mean, I'm guessing that today there'll be a bit of a risk-off thing, because just the way the selling has happened, a lot of FI or dominated stocks, the banks, Reliance Industries, etc., have all come off in the session today. It'll be very interesting to see what happens there. Dow futures, when we shut shop, were down about 0.5% or slightly over 0.5% as well, and if they worsen, then we might be in for a slightly rough ride. If not this much, then maybe slightly lesser than that, but rough ride tomorrow as well. But I don't think too many people should complain. A lot of people were talking about, on the fund side, about how the markets have rallied so much that quality is not available at a good price. Maybe this gives you quality at a good price before it stabilizes, which all of us fervently hope that it does. So let's wait and watch.
But Neeraj, just a follow-up, in terms of the conversations that you had with everyone throughout the day, what are they saying? What is the suggestion here?
Actually, throughout the weekend as well, Agam. Most people believe that there is prudence in taking a bit of a risk off simply because this is unpredictable. So everybody's hope is that neither Iran nor US can afford this. And that's the bull in them saying that nothing could happen. Mohammad Apabai said this on the network. We had one more global guest, Chris Watling, coming in and saying that he would buy into equities. So people are buying it, but everybody's doing this with a bit of a caution that at some point of time this will dissipate. If it doesn't, then all hands off the table.
Sure, fair enough. We'll be watching out for the skews. Neeraj, thanks for that perspective there. So, well, not encouraging. There is certainly a word of caution out there, but well, the selling is for you to see, and not necessarily on relatively low turnovers either. But on that note, let's discuss Biocon. We have Darshan Mehta, who's joining us to take us through the updates here. Darshan, what do we have for us?
Yeah, so basically, I think it became seller news for Biocon today. Let's just the counter selling off. The news actually was quite positive. It had rallied over the past few days. Now, what has happened is that True North, which is a fund, actually bought in stake in Biocon. So they will invest 536 crores in Biocon Biologics for a 2.44% stake. Now, what this means is that Biocon Biologics is a subsidiary of Biocon. A chunk of their revenues comes in from there, and all the biology related and the future developments will be part of this development. They had initially indicated that they are looking to sell stake in this aspect. It's a small stake, but the important thing here is that this values a subsidiary at close to 21,000 crores. Now, what has happened is Biocon itself was valued at 36,000 crores. That's the market cap. The anticipation of a good investment in Biocon Biologics was expected, anywhere between 25 to 30,000 crores. But it's come in at 21,000 crores, which actually put in pressure on the company. And that is why this big sell-off that happened in Biocon. Obviously, we'll need to watch out for the management commentary in terms of who are the other investors that come in, because 2.44% is a very small stake. What happens next from Biocon, who are the bigger investors that come in, that will determine how Biocon will probably move going ahead.
All right, Darshan, thanks for joining us and getting us those details on Biocon. Well, before we conclude, I want to very quickly touch up on what's happened in the futures market, and I want to draw attention to today's day of trade. Not only have we begun the day of trade on a very weak note, we eventually lost 200 points on the Nifty futures, and if you look at this, look at the rise in volumes that we are seeing. These on both these days, that is last Friday as well as today, the volumes have surpassed the 15-day average, which means that there's been a lot of selling pressure and a good amount of volumes as well. We need to keep an eye on this. This also naturally means that the markets at this point in time have become extremely cautious, and we're just going to have to wait and watch whether or not there is some amount of covering. When that comes through is anyone's guess. But for now, there certainly is a lot of weakness. Well, on that note, it's a wrap on the markets, but there's lots more lined up. Stay tuned to BloombergQuint.